Good morning. This is Cleveland Payne, and this is Ask Yourself This and today's quote and question video. Today is the 26th of June, 2018, so we are almost fully into the 6 month, fully into the 6 month of the year, basically splitting the year right in half in a few days. Come Sunday, the 1st of July, and here in the United States, where I am, in the United States, wherever you are around the world, it's probably not the same. In fact, I know it's not the same, but we will have our 4th of July activities, our Independence Day here in the United States. It's on a Wednesday. It's in the middle of the week. I think it's Wednesday this year, so it's going to be weird having that 4th of July in the middle of the week. Their extra four-day weekend doesn't become a real 4-day weekend. It's a 4-day work week with a day in the middle or something. I'm not quite sure how we're going to do this year, but it's something that's grand. It's majestic. There'll be fireworks. There'll be hot dogs. There'll be plenty of baseball in plenty of places because baseball is still billed as America's pastime, even though it may not be America's biggest sport. Meanwhile, in the world, the biggest sport in the world, the World Cup is going on without the USA. So hopefully your team from your host country or the country you love is out there. I pull for Germany because I spent 3 years overseas when my dad was stationed there, and so I have a fond heart. My heart is fond for Germany. They're not a great team this year, but they pulled off a spectacular win on Sunday or Saturday, and they are still alive at the moment. So I haven't been keeping up with it because the World Cup hadn't been blasted as much as it would have been if the Americans are in it, but it's still a big deal for you folks out there celebrating World Cup fever. I know a lot of people from South America who are showing a lot of pride in World Cup soccer, even though the South American teams this year aren't doing very well. That's just how it goes. So let's go ahead and tell you about the spiel of what you're watching right now. Today's quote and question is a product of the Ask Yourself This project. And Ask Yourself This offers up a way to get yourself into a morning meditation, if you will, a thought journal, and that becomes an actual journaling exercise to ask yourself questions every single day. So if you ask yourself a question every day, something that maybe you're not expecting, something that's kind of out of your wheelhouse, something that makes you think, it gets your brain working pretty early and gets you in the process of focusing on something outside of yourself. For people who aren't into real deep meditation or into real deep personal development, this is sometimes a great jumpstart into that, and sometimes it's just a cool thing to do so often to keep yourself on your toes, and that's where this comes from. So every single morning, I release a quote and a question. I just go through various quotes from their various websites and various books, find some that I like, and if I like it enough, it will inspire some sort of question to go along with it. Produce it every single day. You can find it on social media, on all my social media at Cleveland Payne. J is the letter J, Cleveland like the city, and Payne. I'm on there at Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter as well. All three of those are my handles there. For Ask Yourself This, the main project, it's got, because of, squatting online, there's the Facebook page, which is at Ask Yourself This. There's the Twitter account, which is Ask Yourself THI_, and the Instagram account, which is Ask Yourself This _. It's just how it came down. Every morning at 6:35, those go live. You see the posting with the journal entries, and you can journal on the post. We'd love you to do that. A lot of my friends, a lot of people I know answer exactly inside of the social media post, which is really cool. Also, you can answer your questions in the video wherever you find it. We have it on Facebook and, of course, on YouTube as well. And if you are an actual journaler, whether you use your notes app on your phone, a lot of people do all full notes on their phone. I'm a person who always takes notes through their phone and devices, or your actual paper journal, which I do recommend you try sometime because you'd be amazed how therapeutic it can be. We have an Ask Yourself This writing book. 2 books, 2 journals. One spiral bound and one is book bound, and they're beautiful notebooks you can carry around to do all your note taking, all your ideas. You can use it for church, you can use it for meetings, you can use it for personal journaling, and every time a morning comes up and a question comes up, you can just take a page and write it in there and write as much as you want to. The limitations are only the amount of pages left in your book, and if you do it on your phone, limitation is the amount of space left either on your device or in the cloud. I do all mine on my Evernote app every single day. I have a daily journal that goes through all my activities for the day. So that is how I do that. So let's go ahead and get into today's quote and question. And this is one, oh, by the way, when you manage the media, you get a chance to manage the media. And since I do a lot of different media of my own, I figured out that quotes and questions come out every day, and it's a way to sneak in some quotes and questions from people that may be unknown and obscure, which is why every so often I quote myself. So this is a quote from a writing that I did, so hopefully you like it. I have many long living projects that never seem to bear fruit, except they are long living and started from zero. One more time. I have many long living projects that never seem to bear fruit, except they are long living and started from zero. From J. Cleveland Payne. That's me. So, the question inspired by the quote, which is something I pulled from a writing that I put out in a blog post. This was actually quite a while ago, about 3 years ago. How much perseverance are you willing to maintain? How much perseverance are you willing to maintain? And the question may change. You may change the wording to how much persistence were you willing to maintain, how much follow through maintain. But the question and the semantics aside, it's a very serious question for a lot of people who are stuck in the dip, stuck in the doldrums, stuck in a place where things aren't really working out so well at the time. If you're a creative person and you don't happen to be one of the ultra famous creative people who have people throwing money at them and throwing resources at them because they want to be around them and work with them, then you probably deal with this a lot. You probably have a project that you've been working on, toiling on for a while, that doesn't seem to be going anywhere, doesn't seem to be working for you, doesn't seem to be at the peak that it should be, if not beyond that peak. And you're not getting paid massively for it. It's not getting massive success. People aren't catching on to it and sharing with others. You could be one of many things. That could be, if you're a musician, it can be you're not out there obviously on tour during the summer, doing the shows, doing the festivals, doing all the outdoor concerts. You have to play the bar every other Thursday because that's where your talent and where your ability so far has gotten you, not gotten you past there. If you are a writer and you're putting out plenty of things, writing is very easy to do. Writing well is not as hard as you think, but being seen and being consumed is difficult. There's so many eyeballs out there, but all those eyeballs are attached to other things. You have to convince those eyeballs that your stuff is good enough to get in rotation, and that means normally giving something up, them giving something up. And so if it's a matter of finding a way in, it's one thing, but having people to choose you over something that is more popular, which is usually the issue, the more popular goes like that. If you are a business person, you're an entrepreneur, if you are a hustler trying to make something happen, and the money just isn't happening the way you think it ought to, or just isn't happening, period, then you may feel that maybe you need to stop trying to do your own thing and be your own boss, and find a boss and find somebody willing to give you that paycheck, something steady, because the pain and suffering and just the stress of doing on your own can get to you. And that's where the question lies. The pain and suffering and doing on your own, the perseverance you need to do to keep doing it, whether it's a hobby that you just want someone to kind of acknowledge, or whether you really are trying to put a dent into the universe and it's just not working. How much perseverance are you putting into it? How much can you maintain? How long can you keep this thing going? Or how long are you keeping it going? Because the question is worded essentially as, if you're in the process of something, how much more can you put up with to keep it going? Although you may be looking at this from the back end, from a project that is gone, is dead, has died, was killed, was shot, was beaten, was forgotten about. It's just gone. The reasons why they're gone can be varied, but you gave up on it for some reason. How much perseverance did you put into it until you knew it had to go? Or maybe it didn't so much go. Maybe you were able to pivot into something else, and that was a part of the perseverance. You kept it going long enough to realize this little piece, this little gem, this little part of the thing is a great thing. I've just got to figure out how to make it live if the rest of the project doesn't live. So for all you creatives out there, for all you entrepreneurs out there, for all you hustlers out there, for all you people just trying to live the dream, I don't matter how large a dream is for you, how much you think you're getting out of it, or how much you want to get out of it, That's the question. You start from zero, just like the quote says. Everything I've done, I have a lot of things that are just kind of festering wounds at this point because I can't get them over the hump, but I started. And I've learned from essentially everything I've done. Sometimes I've learned things more than once because sometimes the lessons are hard to get over. Sometimes people are hard-headed. But they started from zero, they grew to something, and then they fizzled out for whatever reason. Or they pivoted into something else, got combined to something else, and then kept going for a while, and then they fizzled out for some reason. Every day I have to think about how much perseverance, how much life, how much energy, how much get go and keep going I have to put into a project. All projects in theory, but general projects, the ones that I'm really trying to push on. Because some aren't meant to be major projects, some are just used to test little bits and things, and some are meant to be that home run that's going to make me rich and famous one day, at least in theory. So how much am I willing to put into these things every single day? That's a good question. For me, I answer that question every time I open up my computer, check out my tablet, look at stats, and see how things are working. For you, how will you answer that question? I don't know. You have to answer it and share with us and see what the answer is. There are various ways that we can do this together. Now, hopefully I can help you with this process, which is why I produce this every day. This is meant to trigger your journaling, trigger your meditation, trigger your prep for the day, because it comes out every single morning at 6:30 a.m. Central Time on various social media platforms. As we said, look for it on my social media under the name J. Cleveland Payne. Look for it under the Ask Yourself This brand on Facebook at facebook.com/askyourselfthis, instagram.com/askyourselfthis_, and twitter.com/askyourselfthi_. It was what was available by the time I got there. People squatted and took the ones I wanted. You can also write this down on your own. We suggest that's a great way to work it out. When you see the words on paper, when you see yourself write them down, it's a very therapeutic and very magical thought process of writing down notes in whatever hand you are. My handwriting is horrible, so I normally don't do long form stuff. I do things on computers and notes apps. But there's something magic about seeing the words in front of you, whether they're on electronic or real ink. If you're looking for a nice place to journal or just a nice journal to carry around for notes in general, check out the links in the video where you'll find a chance to get a Ask Yourself This writing book. There are two different journal styles. One's a spiral bound and one is a book bound. Get one. They're nice, beautiful moleskin-like books or notebook-like books, journal books, which you can use for taking notes anywhere you want to, or specifically for your Ask Yourself This. Also be on the lookout, coming up in very, very soon, the upcoming week or so, we're going to put out our new improved quote and question daily dozens mashup, a tool that you can use every single day to help get yourself straight for what are the most important items you need to work on today, and get your mind right by answering the Ask Yourself This question of the day. It takes a little time to make these things work out, so we're going to work our best to make those happen for you. You can show me love and show me thanks and show me all sorts of stuff by just commenting to the video or liking the post as they come down the line, and send me a message. My email address, jclevelandpayne@gmail.com, and check out my main website, jclevelandpayne.net. I know that's a lot in the call to action, but you can do the calls as you need be. Most important thing is get something out of the questions every single day and get something out of the quote for the day. And remember, whatever it is you want to do, want to be, I can't guarantee that you're going to make it to that level 10, but you have to start somewhere. You got to make a step. You won't get anywhere until you get off the couch, if you will, or get on the couch if that's where you record your videos. Thank you so much for joining me for today, and tomorrow we're trying to keep the streak alive. So for the 27th of June, we're hoping to get another great video where I have a quote and question locked and loaded. I think you'll like it as well. I'm J. Cleveland Payne for Ask Yourself This and today's quote and question.